My brother says I look like Javier. I'm trying to make a joke at the start and I'm failing even at that. My brother says I look like Javier. My brother says I look like Javier. Javier? My brother says I look like Javier. My brother says I look like Javier Bardem from that Coen Brothers movie, No Place for Old Men or something like that. And on top of that, I'm also really tired and the lighting's weird, so we'll see how this goes. Hey everybody, it's been a while since I last made a video like this, you know, just talking right in front of the camera. Last one I made was, I think, the Everybody's a Victim emoji video. Wow, a lot has changed since then. And you know, obviously talking about the hair. I just finished my freshman year of college and, whoo boy, let me tell you, it was a bumpy ride. Now, if my analytics and intuition serve me right, 60% of you watching this will come from my Sans video or my Ike video. 30% of you will be people I personally know that I linked to this video, and 10% will be everyone else. So whoever you are watching this, whether you're a friend, a subscriber, or Malcolm, take a seat and just let Paparazzo's in the house, tell you some life lessons, experiences, you know, stories straight from the heart. This video is going to be all over the place, alright? I hope it won't be boring. It's coming straight out of my heart and my own experience, and so without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, expectations. So let me start out by talking about what I expected going into college. I have an older brother named Ranny who went to my school before me, and he also graduated before I entered, and lots of his friends that I hang out with also went there. I'd say most of my friends are older than me, and so suffice to say, I got a lot of wisdom regarding college. This all culminated in last March. I made a video about how I feel about the university system in general, and honestly, it's one of my favorite videos I've made thus far. Specifically, I'm really pleased with how relevant it still is. I basically stand by every single point that I made. To summarize, it's expensive, not explicitly useful, and it's socially jarring. It gives you a culture shock, basically. I found all of these to be true in my first year experience. In particular, the last point about college being bad for your soul was kind of a bummer. For another dimension, I feel like college is also just bad for your soul, and not in a religious sense, but the intangible moral and emotional qualities of a person. It sets it on fire. It reminded me of my first 2 years of high school, which I would describe overall as unepic, only to become epic in junior year 2016. I often find myself drawing parallels between my freshman high school experience and my freshman college one, just a general sense of loneliness and isolation that I imagine is common for entering a new place. And just because I saw these things coming didn't mean that it negated the blow of them. I still stressed out about tuition and how useful my bland bio major would be. Now, my remedy or solution to this dilemma in the college video I made last year was to immerse yourself in a community of people that have similar interests as you, which sounds good in theory, but I realized I don't like or trust people too easily. In fact, boiling it down, I feel like I made only one true friend in my first year of college that I didn't have before. He's cool though. It's important to, at the school, have people you care about so that every time you leave home from break and go back to school, you don't feel like you're being torn away from your friends and family. Have something to look forward to, basically. I was very fortunate in that I roomed with someone and I had people that I already knew from high school that were going to the school, so I wasn't a total stranger. I had people I was familiar with. This may have actually encouraged some complacency with me because I didn't feel super egged on to meet new people, but it was nice to have these people that I felt comfortable with. A piece of advice I would give you after my first year, this is something really important to hear whether you're in college or not, and I'm surprised I don't hear it more often. Be careful who you take advice from or just who you listen to in general. There are many students out there who are willing to spout sage advice on how they found the best career path or have completely outsmarted the system. But it's important to remember that they're in the same boat as you. They're going to graduate college full of debt and they're also going to struggle to find a job. So just keep in mind that any piece of advice you get is only marginally applicable or has limited usage because you're an individual. You're unique. That doesn't mean you should hike it alone. I'm just saying that you should view things with a healthy level of skepticism. Most of the wisdom you need for walking down your path in life reveals itself as you continue to walk down it. Wow, that was really dramatic. Speaking of dramatic, number 2, academics. And how it made me feel. Oh, whoa. School is hard, especially if you're a STEM boy like me. Studying is like working out, except you don't get an endorphin rush. You get scoliosis and possibly carpal tunnel. In high school, I was a pretty lazy individual because I was good at school, but I knew that I had to amp it up for college. I feel bad because there were so many people, oftentimes girls, who were straight A students in K-12. They thought that if they just did their homework, went to class, made their colorful study sheets, that they would be exceptional. And they have that amazing track record from K-12 only to go to college and fail an exam. And they'll rationalize it by saying, but I put so much time and work in. That's mean. but I put so much time and work in. Oh no. How could this happen to me? Why me? And that's the tea, sis. Unfortunately, these grades are a consequence of a hierarchy. Especially at a school like mine that cares about prestige, they want it to be highly competitive, and that means most students won't get A's. They'll often create these highly contrived hurdles to lower the grades in the population. There's a term, artificial difficulty. It's not actually that hard, they just make it seem that way, they puff it up. I've even heard about grade deflating too. You're gonna have to break the rules if you want to make that A. You're always gonna have to be innovative, always thinking outside the box, always pushing the envelope if you want to be that A student. You're gonna have to ask those questions that you think make you look stupid just so you understand the material. Because ultimately, you're the person taking the test. What's that phrase Armin says? A person who cannot sacrifice everything cannot change anything. That's a really weird hyperbole segue into what I'm about to tell you, but all-nighters, my opinion, better than you think. By the way, by all-nighter, I don't mean not sleeping. I just mean staying up really late, like 4 to 5 a.m. Like when I'm writing the script. Adults will tell you they're really bad for you, and there's a high chance that they're right, but I found concrete benefits for myself doing all-nighters to study. The main one being you go to bed and you wake up with the studied material fresh in your head. You wake up and you still have the equations running through your mind. In fact, oftentimes, I find that when I get a deep sleep, it resets my mind and I'm no longer in a frame of active recall. I'm probably using that phrase incorrectly. Anyway, I anticipate the heat of my academics to really turn up in the subsequent years, and I just hope I can keep up. I would say in high school, my efficiency was like 10 to 15%. I hardly touched work and I just got by. In college, I definitely amped it up to like 30 to 40%. The main hurdle towards my efficiency in college was that I just kind of felt like a mindless zombie during the day that went to classes, and I couldn't bring myself to concentrate while doing schoolwork when the sun was out. That was so hard for me. During the day, I just feel like a mindless zombie absorbing info. At night is when I'm clear-headed, creative, and listen to Kendrick Lamar. I just feel so conscious and aware during the night, and that's one of the benefits of all-nighters to me. It captures that state of mindedness. Next year, I'll have 2 jobs, so I'll probably have to amp it up to like 50 to 60%. Wish me luck with that, guys. Number 3, my mentality. This is the serious point. The nature of college gave my mind a rat race mentality, and this is something of great significance to me. At the end of high school, I gave a speech on the importance of living in the moment for times both good and bad. I still think it's a good policy to live by, but I found it basically impossible in college. You're always planning ahead for an exam or some other activity. I would literally be living at least a week or a month ahead, and it was honestly awful. To tie this into something that's important to me, YouTube is a fun pastime for me. It's something I feel genuinely competent at. I enjoy the whole process of making videos, writing, recording, editing. I love all of it. It's the creative output that I'd say I'm best at. See, in high school, there was a continual tension between keeping up with my school responsibilities and my personal goals, which were often putting out YouTube videos. And that tension persisted all throughout high school, but I was able to keep both in check, and I was generally pleased with my output on both fronts. In college, however, it feels like I lost that battle. I gave up what I really cared about for some time to get on top of my schoolwork, and it worked, but I was really discouraged by it. One reason I've amped up my productivity is, and this seems obvious, but the more productive you are, you can do more stuff, and that can be stuff that you like. So if I can get my schoolwork done in a more timely fashion, then I'll have more time to make videos, draw, play music, whatever. One pursuit that I particularly amped up during college was drawing. I think it was between like September and October, I would make like at least one concentrated drawing a day. And I was astounded at my improvement. It was a big encouragement to me. And it showed that it's something I really enjoy doing, and hopefully something I'll continue developing in the future. We'll just see if my academics and creative outlets can coexist in the coming year. One of the reasons why I've started recording footage for these vlogs is that while I'm caught up in this turbulent stream of busyness, I would take some time to really enjoy the moment, or at least catch it on tape. And I do feel a sense of nostalgia already looking back at it, just hustling and getting by. For as many stressful days as there were many pleasant, blessed days that I'm lucky to have spent with my friends. I had some good moments in my first year, and not to mention, it's also been quite validating for my current collegiate path. I'm pre-med, and I found that I have a knack and an interest for this subject. But next year we'll dive even deeper and see if that's still the case. Right now what I'm saying is, the moment that art becomes more lucrative and more possible, forget science, I'm jumping on that. But I'm always open. I'm always open to the possibility of this not working and another door opening. To quote Anthony Fantano, I'm feeling a light 5 to a strong 6 on my first year. I really want to get back to making videos, but I make no promises. If you guys have any input on your college experience or just your anticipation of it in general, please leave it in the comments below. I really enjoy reading those. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. And now it's time for some B-roll footage. Get the corn. Point two. Academics. What made me feel? Why's my hair? Alright, that's it, we're good.
Yeah, you